Well, very good afternoon and very warm welcome to our upper school senior music prizes. Now, as I'm sure you know, boys, we've had to do this in a slightly different format this year. And so just before we start, I just wanted to try to explain the complexity of what we are attempting to do today. Now, first of all, I'm delighted to welcome some professional adjudicators who are coming to help decide on the performances today and to give you all some feedback. So we really appreciate them, and we'll introduce them in a moment. But I just wanted to kind of clarify what we're going to be doing with you guys. So we have the different categories of woodwind, brass, percussion, strings, and piano, and organ as well. And so what the adjudicators are going to be doing throughout the day is listening to all of the performances in each of the 3 year groups, and then awarding at the end of the day a winner of each category. But because you're performing in segregated year groups, we also thought it would be good to award best in class. So you'll get a best in class award at the end of this session for your category. So if you're the only person in your category, then you will be best in class. Okay? We are also going to be awarding an overall outstanding performance of the day, and they will be awarded with the Bedford School Young Musician of the Year award. And so Nat Otley, as you can see in the programme, because he's won the Woodwind Prize in the past, he's only eligible for the Young Musician award this year, because we don't allow people to win the same prize twice. So that is basically how we're going to run it. When you come up, you are absolutely encouraged to take your mask off and to perform. But if you feel more comfortable with your mask on, guitarists, then that's absolutely fine. It's completely up to you. All right. So I'm hoping that I've remembered everything I need to say. And I think I'm now going to just introduce our adjudicators. So I'm going to ask my colleagues to come up and introduce their specialist adjudicators as well. But I'm delighted to welcome Sarah MacDonald, who is going to be adjudicating the singing prize and the organ prize, which will happen later on. Sarah is a very accomplished, multi-talented musician. And in fact, because our piano adjudicator is delayed, she's also going to stand in as piano adjudicator as well for this class. So Sarah is currently the Fellow and Director of Music at Selwyn College, Cambridge, and also is in charge of the Girls' Choir at Ely Cathedral. But Sarah is a first study pianist, but also a very accomplished organist, and a choral director, and a composer, and all kinds of other things too. So we're really pleased to have Sarah with us, and thank you, Sarah, for covering in the absence of Ava, who will be with us as soon as she can. So, can I invite my colleagues to come up and just welcome our other adjudicators?
Good afternoon. So today, adjudicating the woodwind is Lully Bathurst, and we're delighted to have you with us, Lully, so thank you for being here. Lully is an amazing bassoon player. She plays all around the country with different orchestras, Birmingham Royal Ballet, English National Opera, BBC Symphony, Halle, so loads of the top orchestras in the country, as well as being a fantastic teacher, educator. She's a tutor for the woodwind on National Youth Wind Ensemble and National Youth Concert Band. So thank you very much, Lully, for joining us today. And Seb Philpott is adjudicating the brass. He's, again, a brilliant trumpet player and is a member of the Old Dirty Brastards, who are a fantastic band who play all around the country, and they've done Glastonbury recently when such things happened. And as well, he does goes in and plays with the orchestra of the Royal Opera House, BBC Concert Orchestra, and again, an amazing player. And if you are lucky enough to have tickets for the Rob Brydon tour this year, you'll see him because he's one of the members of the band. So yeah, if you fancy going to see that, then he'll be on tour later. Bit of a plug there for Rob Brydon. Okay, I'll move on. Thank you guys for being here.
everyone, welcome boys. My name is Björn. I'm the head of strings, as you chaps will know. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Cathryn Neuhauser, who will be adjudicating the string boys today. She's a superlative and professional and distinguished solo and a violinist, and leads a number of very good orchestras. She studied at Trinity College in London. She was also the solo violinist for, Chicago, a worldwide tour. So she knows her stuff, and she's a very good musician who I've had the privilege of working with professionally as well. So I'm sure she will share some of her insights and ideas with you. Okay.
Great. So we're also particularly delighted to welcome one of our piano teachers, Mr. Young, who's helping out with our accompanist, and also Mrs. Banton will also be accompanying today. So can we give them a little welcome round of applause? So please make sure, gentlemen, you are comfortable. You're in the best place to perform, depending on your particular instrument. And let's start with Hugh Halsey.
I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by, and the wheels kick and the wind song, and the white sail shaking, and the grey mist on the sea's face. The great dawn
this? No?
Yes.
You do?
I stand. I think I need to stand back to see.
You don't?
No.
Start again.
thank you so much, gentlemen, for all your performances. That was really, really wonderful to hear you all play. Now we've got a little bit of time, but only a little bit of time for our adjudicators to come up and give you a bit of feedback. They will have a more kind of full report to send to you later. But if we can invite the adjudicators to come up in the sort of performing order. So if I can invite Sarah to come up, and just for the purpose of the adjudicators, if you can kind of stand directly in front of the microphone, that helps be able to pick up the comments for the recording as well. That would be great.
Right, thank you very much. I will take about 3.5 minutes. Shall I do singing first and then afterwards, and then we'll come back to piano? Is that all right? Good, okay. Just a couple of general things about the singing. First of all, some lovely legato, which was really great to hear. Thank you very much. Everybody, a couple of places where you need to think about tuning. William, down at the bottom of the voice. Hugh, on the long note at the end of each verse. And Nathaniel, the semitones were a little bit too small on the way down, so it was just a bit sharp, the opening of both those phrases. Excuse me, I've been sitting with my mask on, I can't speak anymore. But all of you need to think a little bit about posture. It's always hard to know, especially when you're singing from memory, what to do with your hands when you're singing, so make a decision. There was a bit of, just going on from at various points. So be careful, and Hugh, just open up a bit like this. Nathaniel, be careful, as you descend in pitch, you tend to drop your head, and so the low notes, which are going to be quieter anyway, tend to be sung to your shoes and not to the audience, so just keep this sort of poise in the way you sing. Well recovered Hugh after the page turn issue, that's always a problem when a pianist is using photocopies, he just had it the wrong way around, but you were, on you go. I think the other thing is just a general thing about mood for all three of you. Nathaniel, there's a wonderful change of mood between the various sections in the Wolf. I reckon, Hugh, you need 3 different moods for those 3 verses. A bit of nostalgia in the first verse, and then a bit of eagerness to get to the beach. I can't tell you how desperate I am for the sea. I'm from British Columbia. I miss it. I understand that song. And then maybe real intensity in the last verse because you know it's going to happen, or insistence or something like that. But it was a bit samey all the way through. And William, be careful that you keep the mood even when the pianist is doing his thing, okay? Because we got the mood, and then he did his thing, and then you came back and you sort of dropped the space. And that's a bit because you were faffing with pages because you hadn't memorized it. I understand you were all in the middle of exams and stuff, but there's just sort of general comments that there'll be a little bit more on the actual thing. Only other advice is listen to every singer you can get your hands on. It's all available on YouTube. All the great singers. Listen. There you go.
Thank you. Right, let's move on to brass, if that's all right.
Hi everyone, I'm Seb. Hi, lovely to meet you. Lovely to hear you all play and sing. Well done, you two, well played. Some general things. Try and get your head out of the music and just try and feel the music. So you're not reading notes. You're not getting notes. Try and really get to the kind of the nub of what you're trying to say in your piece. Now, this is a lovely room to play brass in. So there are times where you could probably play out a little bit more and just find some more colours. Michael, you play with a lovely sweet sound on your E flat. It's very nice, but you could find some darker sounds within that, especially like the lyrical bits. So maybe you want to get a bit shiny at times as well. And Hugh, try and find more, just a bit more phrasing in general. Think of your work and your singing. Try and think of an overall shape and arc to everything you're doing. Now, some more general things as well. When you go lower, play a bit louder, especially in an acoustic like this. It just gets lost, otherwise, And also just the details as well. A bit more detail with articulation, double tonguing, triple tonguing, the start of notes as well, shorter notes. That kind of gets lost in an acoustic like this. So they're just small things which you can just tweak. And another good thing, just when you're performing, when you finish the piece, just hold the instrument up for about 2 or 3 seconds, sort of just to kind of capture the moment. Don't just like drop like that, and you sort of lose the moment a bit quickly. So, and it kind of covers up anything. It looks confident. So just that's just a little tip from me there. That's it from me. Thank you very much. Well done.
So we can have strings.
So thank you all for great performances. It was really enjoyable to listen to you all. I think we haven't had much live performance obviously for over a year, and that's obviously going to bring some nerves as we perform. Try and practice doing that. It sounds a sort of crazy thing to do, but you could always record yourself or something. That in itself is quite a nerve-wracking experience. And that experience can see you through that, and then you can prepare a bit more. So it's brilliant that you're all here today. Keep doing it, keep performing as much as you can. Live performances are really, really great. Remember your audience. That might sound obvious, but when we're playing, we can think a lot of just from ourselves. We can become quite insular, we can become quite just thinking about ourselves. Remember what the audience can actually hear and what they can see. So a little bit, like you were saying, try and sit up a little bit if you can. Think about the heights of music stands if you have one, so that people can really see and engage with you. The audience want to enjoy what you're about to do. It's not, I know we're a competition, but they do want it to go well and really hear that, so well done. So more specifically, Ashwin, fantastic perseverance, so well done for keeping going. A restart was good because I think you needed to just clear your head and start again, so that was brilliant. So well done after that. I particularly liked your arpeggio accompaniment that you were doing. That was consistent all the way through, really strong, you really brought that out. At times you could bring the melody out a bit stronger, to think about the balance between that, but very good. And I thought your softer dynamics were particularly well controlled, and that just draws the listener in to what you're playing, so well done. And then to Amir. Where's Amir? There we are. So a great performance, really, really good. Technically very, very good. It's a hard piece to play. It's a great technical ability and control. I thought the balance between your melody and your accompaniment was well judged. That came out, that melody across from that accompaniment. And overall, good dynamics as well, a good dynamic range. The softer sections particularly drew the listener in again. That's how I feel. It's often those softer moments that really make people listen to what's being said. And good stage presence. So I liked your bow at the end, a really confident bow. So however you're feeling, stand up and do that. So well done. And then finally to Eric over here. So I thought you captured the style of the piece really well. That came across. It was a very strong dynamic and sound. And that's what we want. We want to get the style of whatever that composer had in mind. And I thought you did that really, really well. I thought your shifts were well controlled. You reached up, and when you slide up, that was really good. And overall, you made a really confident sound. So very good, and some good dynamic contrasts. All right, so well done to all three of you.
Right, I go back to my roots here because I'm a first study pianist. Some lovely playing, thank you to both of you. Where's my list? I keep putting masks on and then I lose where you've gone to. Hugh, you sit very, very close. I think notice how your accompanist sits. Just sit back because you're a little bit stuck. You can't go anywhere if the bench is right up to here. So push it back. You should be sitting on the edge of it. Most of the bench you don't really use. Just allow yourself a little bit more space. You also have, there's a bit of percussion going on, right? And fingernails need clipping as well, because what happens out here is we hear the fingernails and we hear the banging of the pedal. So make sure what we hear is the piano instead. Listen carefully to the balance in that piece between the bass, the middle, and the tune, so that we get the right balance between the sounds. And never use the pedal as an excuse not to play legato. That's really important. You should practice everything without the damper pedal. So it's got to be beautifully legato by itself, and then the pedal adds colour, okay? Michael, some nice attempt with sound in the Debussy. You also sit with the bench quite here, and you need more space for that kind of stuff. It's a big, huge canvas. I need to know what you're seeing when you do that kind of stuff. That's called impressionist music for a reason. You know, I need to see that picture of those, you know, boats on the river or whatever it is. And it does need to be memorized for that stuff to come off the page, and I realise it's exam time and stuff, but the other thing is to bear in mind that this instrument has a bad reputation as a percussion instrument, and it must never, ever, ever sound like that. So be really careful. That's where you've got to have the bench back, to have the weight behind, so that when you get loud, it doesn't bang. That's really crucial. Every single note in a piece like that needs to have a different colour, different shade, different hue, different everything, just so that the thing comes off the page. The stuff was unconvincing at the time. You know, people were like, what on earth is Debussy doing? But actually, you got to bring it off the page and make all of us think that that was, goodness me, wasn't that a fabulous visit to the Louvre or whatever? And it's about the colour. So again, listen to the pianists of the past 150 years playing that kind of stuff. How you can turn this into an orchestra rather than something to sort of bash away at behind somebody's grade 3 violin exam or whatever. Okay, otherwise, thank you. Something like nice playing and good to hear.
Everyone, thank you so much. It was so nice to hear some live music from all of you. I've been missing it so much this year, so thank you first of all to everyone. By default, you've won because there's only you on the instrument, but I really enjoyed the performance, so I'm just going to try and look at my frantic notes here, but the first thing I've put is lovely tone, and I've written great vibrato. I really like the use of your vibrato because you didn't overdo it, and you added colour when you needed it, but it wasn't there all the time, and I really enjoyed that. I think you captured the mood beautifully, and I said you took me on the journey with you. I felt like I was totally engaged in that performance. I thought it was lovely. Really musical. I liked the shapes of your phrases, and I thought you had a great dynamic range. I think you can push the softs especially a little bit further, especially in here. And I think it could get a little bit breathy at times. It might have been what you were going for, but I think just be careful that we can really hear that great tone when you're going softer. And yeah, just push it a bit, but it was great. And then there were a slight few tuning things just on the open notes, but you adjusted, which was great. I could hear that if you heard it, you were adjusting, so that's great. Most of my notes are actually, they're just performance-based. You could see you felt it completely, but it's just basic things like the stand just that little bit further away, a little bit lower, and just try, like you were in the zone, and I felt that, but if you can open your eyes a little bit, and maybe you don't have to look us directly, but look at your audience. It's just about really bringing us in as much as you can, but I really enjoyed it, so thank you, all of you. It's great, thanks.
Thank you very much to our adjudicators. Now, before we finish the class, we just have to have our class winners. So if I can just invite Sarah back up, if you are willing just to come up here and announce who the vocal and the piano winners for this class will be.
The vocal winner for this class is Nathaniel, and the piano winner for this class is Michael.
We'll do quick pictures with your adjudicator at the end, if that's okay. So if we can now go on to brass.
The brass winner is Michael.
And strings.
And the string winner is Amir.